Coming up, sub-zero temperatures are spanning central New York, but Syracuse students woke up to the one text they didn't want to receive. How the Syracuse Students Association responded to the university remaining open for classes today.
And elsewhere in the country, the polar vortex is setting record lows. How the Midwest is dealing with the dangerous winds and temperatures.
I'm here outside the CitrusTV studio to tell you that it really is cold. Now, in my full weather forecast later in the show, I'll be giving you a piece of really good news about the future.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Syracuse University resumed classes today as scheduled, despite canceling classes yesterday night. Good evening, I'm Zach Lang.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. The university said it would remain open after consulting an independent meteorologist and reviewing the most up-to-date National Weather Service data.
New at 6, the Syracuse University Student Association is encouraging students to put their health and safety as their #1 priority.
SA Vice President Kyle Rosenblum said the Student Association will be working with the university on how to better communicate with students.
We have been communicating with the administration about the process and just about our concerns, because especially with today, this morning, the temperatures and the wind chill was very low, and it could have been dangerous especially for students that have any sorts of health complications or diseases that may be prone to greater risk in cold weather. That was a huge concern for us. And so we did express that, and we're going to be working with them in the future to make sure those things are kind of recognized and addressed. But we are also encouraging students to make sure that they're putting their health and safety as their priority today.
The Chancellor also reached out to students with an open conversation over coffee at Panache Lounge today.
DPS Chief Bobby Maldonado was also in attendance. Maldonado said that the physical plant cleared off sidewalks and that DPS was instructed to give anyone they saw walking a ride.
Several students criticized the university's policy, saying that it was cold enough to get frostbite in the time South Campus buses arrived at stops. Other students said the university was awful at communication.
A ruptured pipeline on Irving Avenue between Waverly Avenue and University Place is causing significant traffic delays. Waverly Avenue has been closed. It is currently unknown when the street will reopen. Traffic is advised to avoid the area if possible. And soon ESF canceled classes today due to the extreme weather temperatures. While students can enjoy this snow day, ESF staff is expected to report to work. To ESF staff wish they'd take the day off, they must contact their supervisor. The snow didn't stop SU's career and internship fair this afternoon. The fair welcomed about 75 campus employers recruiting for internships and entry-level jobs. The fair was open to all students and was the primary career fair for the College of Arts and Sciences, Falk College, and VPA. Employers include local companies like Krause Hospital and Onondaga County. And if you wanted one perk of the cold weather, here it is. Whatever the temperature is tomorrow at 9 in the morning will be the price of SU men's basketball game tickets against Florida State on Tuesday. But don't get too excited for sub-zero temperatures. The lowest price for the tickets is $1. The tickets are redeemable tomorrow until tip-off with a valid SU ID. And tomorrow marks a new month of the year, as well as a month-long celebration. Syracuse University's annual Black History Month celebration begins tomorrow. The month is meant to honor traditions and African cultures in several programs. Events include speakers, art exhibitions, and even a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. The full calendar of events is available online.
It's officially the season for dodging and fighting the flu, yet here in central New York, the fight is even bigger than other parts of the state. CitrusTV reporter Lilia Wood found out why central New York has the biggest uptick in influenza.
As the temperatures are falling here in central New York, the amount of flu cases reported are doing the exact opposite. The New York State Department of Health keeps track of all flu cases in the state, and central New York has drastically more positive influenza reports per 100,000 people than any other region in New York. In Onondaga County alone, 104 Type A cases were reported during the week of January 14th. Although the vaccine has been proven to be very effective this season, Dr. Jennifer Baldwin explains that this is a very common time to see an uptake in flu cases due to the low temperatures and high winds.
This time of year, winter in central New York is also associated with being really busy. It's post-holidays, and for college students, they have exams. You know, for working people, kids are in sports, and they're working all day and running around at night. So I think we just don't take good care of ourselves sometimes, and it makes us more susceptible to
Early in the season, the primary reports were suggesting that it would be a late flu season, but the amount of flu cases confirmed already contradicts those reports.
Well, certainly extreme weather conditions make us susceptible to weakened immunity. So that's going to make you more susceptible to getting sick. So, we don't hydrate as well when it's cold. When it's hot, we know we should drink more. When it's cold, we don't think about that.
And while it may seem elementary, Dr. Baldwin said other than getting the flu vaccine, you need to constantly wash your hands, sanitize, and avoid touching your face.
The other important thing about preventing flu people forget is just taking care of yourself, supporting your own immune system to be as effective as possible by getting adequate sleep, nutrition, hydration.
And the best way to avoid the flu is to isolate yourself.
So I know that it's important to, meet your obligations, but if you really have a fever, a febrile illness that you suspect as the flu, you're better off to stay home.
And for people looking for more protection, it is still not too late to get the flu shot. Lilia Wood, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Lilia. With these frigid cold temperatures, keeping safe from the flu is certainly a priority. Zach, I actually had the flu last year, but the scary thing is I think this winter is the worst I've seen in my 4 years here at Syracuse.
Honestly, yeah. 2 years ago, we had a pretty bad weather here in the winter. But you know what, Adam, how's it looking to you?
Oh, it's looking pretty bad to me, Zach. Right now, it's about 8 degrees outside. I was just outside. It feels much, much colder. In fact, it feels in the negatives, even with winds dying down. Now, taking a look at tomorrow and taking a look at your chances to score those cheap tickets to that game, it's going to be about 2 degrees at 9 a.m., so that looks pretty promising for really cheap tickets. Getting up to about 9 degrees by noon, 11 by 6 p.m., and it's going to be totally dry with some low winds. And now, if you're a fan of canceled class, look away, because I have here some of the schools that have canceled class this semester. Today, rather. SUNY ESF, as you guys know, Penn State, in addition, University at Buffalo, Northern Illinois University. The Midwest is really feeling the cold right now. Fordham University, SUNY Fredonia, some other colleges that are closed. Zach, Gilat, I've got some good news for you in my full weather forecast, but for now, back to you.
Thanks, Adam. New details on former congressional candidate Dana Balter. She plans to open a nonprofit in Syracuse next month. Enter the Public Square aims to encourage political activism in the Syracuse area. Balter plans to encourage young voters to stress the importance of voting early. Balter, who will leave SU for a paid position at the nonprofit, said the organization will be nonpartisan. However, Balter stated she is considering running in 2020. Tonight, a public conversation with Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon and Mayor Ben Walsh is being hosted by the civic group Leadership Greater Syracuse. The event will take place at National Grid Auditorium and is billed as an open conversation. You can follow Citrus TV reporter Ricky Sayer on Twitter at Ricky Reports for live coverage of the event. Syracuse firefighters responded to a house fire around 12:30 a.m. today. Both people inside the house made it out safely before firefighters arrived, but Deputy Fire Chief Jeff Kite said below freezing temperatures were an issue when it came to putting out the flames. The fire is still under investigation.
Tractor-trailer drivers involved in a 21-car pileup on the Rochester Thruway could face criminal charges. According to Governor Andrew Cuomo, the truck should not have been on the road. The crash, which occurred around 2:20 on Wednesday afternoon, led to highway closures. There were no life-threatening injuries. A Binghamton middle school is under fire after 4 black female students were allegedly strip-searched due to suspicion of drug possession. East Middle School denied the strip search, claiming the girls were checked by the school nurse out of concern for their health and safety after appearing hyper. Governor Andrew Cuomo said these allegations suggest race and gender bias and will be further investigated. Governor Andrew Cuomo's New York City traffic plan is under fire by lawmakers. Cuomo, who plans to impose tolls on motorists entering Manhattan, has yet to provide details and how these tolls will take place. Cuomo plans to impose these tolls by 2021. However, a specific amount has not been stated. Cuomo plans to generate revenue to aid the city's subway system as well as ease traffic. And if you were able to get around in the cold today without freezing, you could still potentially feed someone. The Food Bank of Central New York is accepting donations until tonight at 7. The food bank says that every dollar donation becomes 3 meals for those in need. Its website says that of all people who depend on food programs in Central and Northern New York, 91% are below the federal poverty line.
Coming up, the polar vortex sweeping through the Midwest has resulted in several emergencies already. We'll have more details on how that area is dealing with the cold.
The U.S. Customs and Border Protection made one of its biggest busts on the Mexican border. Find out what agents recovered. We'll be right back.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please.
Don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back. House Democrats put forward a new border security proposal today, and there is no money for a wall.
Zach, it's not just this proposal that is no funding for a wall. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says there will be no wall funding in any future proposals that try to prevent another government shutdown. President Trump told reporters today, quote, "If there's no wall, it doesn't work."
The clock is ticking for House Democrats and the president to reach a funding agreement. Otherwise, the government will shut down again in 3 weeks.
A woman is dead after a house fire in her Indiana home yesterday. Firefighters faced negative 22-degree weather and frozen water, which prevented them from battling the flames.
Officials believe the fire started in the basement where the woman's body was found. Extreme cold weather in the Midwest continues as residents in parts of Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and Pennsylvania will not receive mail due to dangerous record-breaking low temperatures and wind chills.
The USPS has listed the affected zip codes on their website.
Senate Democrats are introducing election reform but face stiff opposition from the Senate Majority Leader. The bill would make Election Day a federal holiday.
It would also require presidential candidates to release their tax returns, which President Donald Trump did not do in 2016. McConnell called the bill the Democratic Politician Protection Act and referred to it as a power grab.
President Trump could be considering the wife of a former rival to be the next president of the World Bank.
Source confirmed to CNN that Trump spoke with Heidi Cruz, wife of Senator Ted Cruz, on Wednesday about the job. She's currently working for Goldman Sachs as an executive.
A spokesperson for Ted Cruz says it was an honor for his wife to be part of the finalists for the job.
Today, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials say that they have their biggest fentanyl bust ever, capturing nearly 254 pounds of the drug in Arizona.
Officials announced that the drugs were seized Saturday from a truck carrying produce from Mexico. The Mexican man driving the truck has been arrested.
In recent years, fentanyl has become the biggest source of fatal overdoses in the U.S.
27 members of an organization linked to the Sinaloa drug cartel were sentenced yesterday in El Salvador to sentences varying from 2 to 300 years in prison.
The group's leader received the most severe punishment as he has been sentenced to 300 years.
The group, captured by Salvadorian authorities in 2017, participated in money laundering, international drug trafficking, and numerous other crimes.
Tensions in Venezuela continue to rise in the wake of recent protests. The UN Human Rights Office says at least 40 people are dead due to the protests.
Meanwhile, the European Parliament is recognizing Juan Guaido as Venezuela's interim president. Parliament President Antonio Tajani urged other European states to recognize Guaido soon. They join other nations such as the U.S., Canada, and Costa Rica in supporting him.
Guaido spoke today asking Americans to help Venezuela recover its democracy and liberty. Coming up, for more on our freezing temperatures, Adam Sperling will be back. Hopefully we'll see a light at the end of the tunnel soon.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. I'm here with your weather. Right now it's about 8 degrees out here at Syracuse, and wind chills are still in effect, but they are dying down. Taking a look at the temperatures across central New York, we're going to be seeing temperatures of about 8 degrees no matter where we are. Cortland is our low at about 6 degrees, and as much as you can call it a high, Ithaca is our high at 9 degrees. Moving on to tomorrow, we're going to be seeing temperatures right around 2 to 9 to 11 the whole day. We might be getting up to a high of 16 sometime around 3 p.m. Now, I have some big news for you. I'm calling it Monday is our first Syracuse beach day. It's going to be 50 degrees out. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but being here in the cold every day, 50 degrees is a lifesaver for me. And guess what? No rain. It's going to be really, really nice. Taking a look at how we're going to get there in our 5-day forecast. Tomorrow is going to be high of 16, low of 1. Saturday, we're getting all the way up to 36 degrees, which even sounds nice, even though it's right at the freezing point. And Sunday, we're going to be getting up a little bit higher to 40 degrees. And then Monday, getting up to 50 degrees, our beach day. I'm looking for some shorts on campus, maybe some t-shirts. Everyone, it's going to be a good one.
Well, coming up, the men's basketball team took the court last night on the road against Boston College. Find out how the Orange fared in a nail-biter down the stretch. Plus, I'll preview tonight's women's basketball game against Virginia in the Dome and breaking news out of the NBA. Stick around.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cooked my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow. Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones. Don't even. And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Right, with breaking news out of the NBA. Good evening, I'm Luke McGrath. The New York Knicks have reportedly traded star forward Kristaps Porzingis to the Dallas Mavericks. Along with Porzingis, the Knicks are sending Courtney Lee and Tim Hardaway Jr. to Dallas in exchange for Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and 2 future first-round picks. Porzingis has been out all season recovering from a torn ACL, but is expected to return before the season ends, where he'll join forces with fellow Europeans Luka Doncic and Dirk Nowitzki. Now, the deal is not official with the NBA just yet, but with New York trading away 2 sizable contracts and only acquiring 1 contract on the books past this season, the Knicks are expected to have enough cap space to sign 2 max contracts this summer in free agency. After falling to Virginia Tech over the weekend, the men's basketball team looked to get back on track last night, traveling to Chestnut Hill to take on Boston College. SU entered the showdown 5-2 in ACC play. Meanwhile, the Eagles came into the ballgame with their star guards Kai Bowman and Jordan Chapman combining to average 43 points per game in 2 straight ACC wins. Something had to give, so let's take a look at how it all shook out. Here at the Conti Center, Tyus Battle warming up. He is no stranger to this location, 29 points last year, but it was BC who got off hot. Jordan Chapman hitting the 3 to start things off as BC took an early 10-2 lead. But here's Frank Howard taking a 3-pointer and cashing it in to cap off an SU 14-0 run. And then Tyus Battle right here with the pull-up jumper. I'll take all 3 of those. SU would head into the half leading 42-35. Second half action now, it was Kai Bowman who found Chapman again for another 3. Both Bowman and Chapman finished the game with 21 points. That cut the SU lead down to 46-38, but then Tyus Battle from 3 again. He was automatic all night, finished with 31 points. And then Buddy Buckets taking on a bit of a different role here, getting the steal on D, and then all the way down for the easy layup. He tied a career high of 13 points, and it was all free throws and foul shots from there as SU won 77-71. And Coach Boeheim afterwards talking about Tyus Battle taking a new role at point guard.
He beat Duke from the point, and he won this game from the point. He played the point early in the year. We've simplified it when he has the ball. It's pretty much ball screen stuff. He's getting a little better at finding people. Frank was playing well. He's upset, which, I'd be upset if I was a senior too, but Tyus is just better at the ball, with the ball at the point, and he made plays.
Staying on the hard court, the 18th ranked women's basketball team is back in action tonight, taking on Virginia Tech in the Dome. The Orange are coming off an 11-point comeback victory on the road against Duke Sunday and are looking to advance to 6-2 in ACC play. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers are trending downward, sitting at just 2-5 in the ACC. Leading the charge for SU of late is Kiara Lewis. The redshirt sophomore put up a career-high 16 points last week against Miami, only to one-up herself against Duke with a 20-point performance. The team as a whole will look to stay hot from deep, ranking 12th in the nation in three-pointers made. Tip-off in the Dome is set for 7. Well, there's no sporting event quite like the Super Bowl, and we're ecstatic to bring you live coverage from Atlanta with our very own Jonah Karp, who joins us now live at 6. Jonah, first of all, tell us what it has been like to be around so many notable SU alumni and what your interactions have been with them.
Yeah, Luke, I mean, the Newhouse Mafia is a real thing. Just the other day, we interviewed Adam Shine. Yesterday, we had Scott Hansen and Andrew Siciliano on. And just today, just a moment ago, we had Gary Myers, who wrote for the Daily Orange back in 1976. We asked him about Media Cup, WAR versus the Daily Orange, which was a real thing back in the 70s. Bob Costas played basketball against Gary Myers. We talked to him about that. That was very cool. And then right after him, we had Adam Zucker of NFL Network and CBS Sports Network. They're just all over the place. A lot of Syracuse people, a lot of Newhouse people. It's been an unreal experience.
Yeah, Jonah, that Newhouse Mafia runs deep. Now, I have to ask you, what are your plans before you end this trip down on Super Bowl weekend? How many times will you have gotten Chick-fil-A before the trip is all said and done?
So tomorrow we're actually heading over to the NFL Experience. We're going to do our own combine, Jackson, Drew, and I. It'll be an interesting experience. I'm not sure how that'll turn out. I'm not the most athletic person, you could probably guess based on my physique. But, we'll keep you updated, and you can check out Citrus TV Sports Twitter account. I guess you could see for yourself how that'll turn out.
All right, Jonah, thanks. I got house money on Jackson personally, but have a great last couple of days down in Atlanta. Now, guys, I just mentioned it, Kristaps Porzingis, a table of Knicks fans here, down to the Dallas Mavericks. As you can see, there's some hard feelings right now.
Would you like some tissues?
Yeah.
So what's the biggest takeaway you have from this trade?
So the biggest takeaway is the possibility of having a great core going into next year, but that really puts a lot of stock into the NBA lottery here. If the Knicks can land a #1 pick and keep tank season going, maybe get Zion, that'll really be an attraction to a lot of the free agents that could potentially sign with New York. But if the Knicks fall to that 3, 4, 5 range, a lot of those big-name free agents might decide to go elsewhere.
Not all too bad for Knicks fans. All right, thanks, Luke.
Thanks.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Now, the world's heaviest avocado may have sprouted in Hawaii. The farmer who grew it has actually been growing heavy avocados for several years before one of them was finally weighed.
The avocado is heavier than 6 pounds, breaking the current Guinness World Record. Guinness will need up to 12 weeks to verify the record. And Zach, I just want to start off by saying, I don't know what they need 12 weeks to verify. I feel like you kind of just put it on the scale. Is it heavier than the current world record holder? If it is, it wins the record.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you just kind of put it on the thing and then it tells you the weight? But also, more importantly, what do you do with a 6-pound avocado?
I mean, the Super Bowl is coming up, so chips and guac, that's a famous Super Bowl dish. So make a lot of guac, I guess. Maybe try to sell it off to, Chipotle or other Mexican restaurants, see if they need any avocados.
Yeah, I know I'm definitely going to be eating a lot of guacamole on Super Bowl Sunday, but more importantly, what chips would you use to eat guacamole?
Oh, you gotta have scoops. I mean, the problem is with 6 pounds of avocado guacamole, the chips need to be durable enough to really scoop in and get in there. That's a lot of avocado, it's a lot of guacamole. If you don't have the chips that can really scoop it up, the chips are just gonna break.
Now, have you ever had blue chips? Because they're the best. But anyway, that's all the time we have for you now on Citrus TV News Live at 6. You can check us out on Twitter at Citrus TV News. I'm Zach Lang.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night, Syracuse.